Hi, and welcome to episode 27 of the Woodwind Doubling Guide, and I'm surprised it's taken me this long to get to showing you my baritone setup. Baritone is one of the beasts that I get called for the most. I end up playing a lot of low reed books, reed 4 and reed 5. You're going to find baritone, bass clarinet, usually some flute and clarinet, contrabass clarinet. For example, last year at the Stratford Festival on Chorus Line, that was the exact combination of things I played. Of course, I end up playing a lot of big band gigs over the years on baritone, anchoring reed sections, like playing with the Canadian Tribute to Glenn Miller for several years, and then going on and anchoring the reed section in Jim Galloway's Wee Big Band after my friend and predecessor Del Deco passed away. So baritone has been a real core instrument for me right from college days. And the instrument that I'm playing on now is a Jupiter 900 series baritone. I've had this one for about the past 10 years or so. I think they've got a more updated version of it out, possibly with the adjustable palm keys like my alto and soprano have. But I've really never wanted to change from this horn. I love this horn so much. I tend to cling to things that work really well for me. The only one weird feature about it is it's got a design feature board from Asawa where it's got a peg mount on the bottom of it. You can actually have a screw-in floor peg. I've never used that particular feature. It adds a little bit of weight to the horn, and it also makes it a little more awkward getting it into a case. I had to do a bit of surgery to the SKB case that I haul around in. But sonically and in terms of response, really love it. Setup on here right now is a Asawa hard rubber number 9 mouthpiece. Now, number 9 might sound like a crazy big opening, but when you look at the actual tip opening, it's only 110 thousandths. And the baritone piece that I was playing before that, made by Van Doren, was about the same tip opening, 110 thousandths. And that's pretty much in that happy place for a lot of people, somewhere about 110, 115 thousandths of an inch is a great playing general sort of big band and theater setup for baritone. I wouldn't want to do a quartet gig on it. I'd reel it back into something more like a 95 tip opening. I've got another Van Doren that I modified for doing that for those rare occasions when I get to play a concert band or classical quartets. It gives you a bit more control. And for some theater things, it might actually be an idea to go to something a bit more contained like this. But when you want a fair amount of bark and a lot of flexibility, something about a 110 tip works just fine. That's Rovner ligature on it, and the reed on there is a Leger signature, and I think it's a 2.5 or 2 3/4. I haven't bothered to pull it off there. Somewhere in about there is a good flexible thing. Again, I'll change reeds up or down a little bit as required by the material that I'm playing. Now, I have another Asawa mouthpiece. I have the same number 9, but in metal. It's a silver-plated brass. If I want something that's got a little bit more bark, if I'm going to be playing in a horn section for a more commercial thing, I'll pull that out. I will pull that out occasionally on big band gigs if they're a more modern type of big band sound. So that's, again, a bit of taste. It gives me a backup, too. I never go anywhere without spare mouthpiece, spare reeds. If I have to play a gig on either piece, I can do that. On Chorus Line, I did actually use the metal Asawa quite a bit, but the low-end response on the hard rubber one, I think it's got a little bit of a fatter sound. The chambers are slightly different. The rubber one has a round chamber. The metal one has more sort of a squarish, straight-sided chamber. Also on this horn, I've got a different thumb rest on it. I don't know if we can get a look at that properly. Just in here, this thumb rest is actually one that I got from Kurt Alterac at Music Medic at one of the trade shows a few years ago. He said, "Here, you got to try this," and it's a metal thumb rest instead of the plastic ones that you see in most Barrys these days, and it's got an extended platform there for the thumb, and that actually helps handle the horn a little bit more. Your thumb sits out. It's got a little bit more leverage and a little bit more comfort to it, and that works great. Because I don't have the adjustable palm keys on here, I have one little rubber slip-over key there on the D just to bring the D into my hand and make that the most comfortable possible for me. Neck strap is actually just a fairly standard Rico with the little dog clip on it, no big fancy harness, nothing else like that. I know that it can put a bit of a stressor on the neck for a lot of people, but I always try to put down the horn as much as possible. And also, since a lot of the time I'm doubling within a show context, I'm switching around other instruments. This is a very fast way of getting the horn on and off. I don't want to be fussing a whole lot. So there you have it, my baritone setup. Please leave any questions or comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.